we are on. Let me just... I don't see your camera for some reason. Oh, there it is. There it is. I just have to stretch you out on the full screen. Woohoo!
Oh, nice. How do I make myself big enough?
Now we can see you. Great. Okay, so we are on my, what's the name of the thing? YouTube. Okay, I gotta adjust my camera so you guys can see me too. And this one, yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so now to do an official intro, here we go.
Tune in for your insight into a professional musician's life and also new music.
All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of Musician Today podcast. And today we have a very, very special guest that I've been following for quite a while. Someone who has inspired not only my music, but thousands of other people to pursue, their career and direction in electric violin altogether. So we have Dr. Dra. Woohoo! Best known as the first violinist to venture from rock to classical with music and capture spans an eccentric lifetime. So from playing for royalty in Prague to creating near chaos at Toronto Beach's Jazz Festival to playing luxury brand events like Chloe and Dom Perignon, I'm sorry if I'm not saying it right, Perignon, Dr. Dra inspires kudos wherever he plays. Lately, his reputation is growing eastward. Performances have included playing in Singapore, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, and spate of Louis Vuitton events in Hong Kong, Malaysia, and South Vuitton. Yeah, I've never been, so I don't know. And South Korea, he performed for frenetic locals, energizes the performer time and time again, allowing them to repeatedly interact with cultures of all across the world. So the result is a constantly evolving musical style that brings together a seemingly disparate element of classical violin, jazz, folk, fusion, folk, pop into riveting masala and feeds the soul and invigorates the audiences. So we have an amazing Dr. Dra today. How are you doing? Welcome.
Thank you for having me. This is absolutely lovely.
Awesome. And before we go on any further, you guys can always find Eugene on his website at drdra.ca, drdra.ca, on Facebook at /Dr. Dra, on Instagram at /Dr. Dra, on YouTube. Look him up as Dr. Dra. We're going to play a few of his songs today that are on YouTube as videos that you can experience from the live performances, and they're amazing. So I can't wait to share them with you. So
absolutely.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm with you today.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I have 10 violins in this house.
Nice.
Well, almost. And then just like this is one of my favorite ones.
Nice.
It's 300 years old. But it is covered in vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
A buddy of mine that covers cars in vinyl, he covered it up. So it's really nice. It's like it's falling apart. You can see little cracks in it.
Aww. But it looks beautiful. Yeah. It looks like Christmas.
It's always Christmas in the house.
Nice. I bet with all of the lights and LED instruments and real cool hookups you have.
In the distance, that's my bow installation. So that's a bunch of bows with another violin.
Wow. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah. So ask away. What
So I guess the biggest question that we all have when we meet Dr. Dra is, how did you come up with the unique style that you have today? How did you become who you are? What's been your journey?
Well, my journey is very backwards than what usually musicians go through. People go to school to find pathways. They figure out, I go to school to get techniques and so on and so on. For me, it was backwards. I got styled before I played. So as a street musician, as a person, I picked up the instrument and I really had a form of expression. It was very rhythmical, it was very tribal. So I started with that, and I found that it was making an impact with people.
Mm-hmm.
Like they relate to it on a very primal basis,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like really from basically. I wasn't really necessarily trying to appease people with thoughts that you would listen to. I wanted to connect with nature as being as sapient. And then that's why I'm a tribal player. I'm not considered like a violinist, more like shamanic experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I make a living. I make a living for connecting with people who fit their core, vision core. And it's nice because with humans, the market is simple. We're all human.
Yeah.
So it's like you can go anywhere in the world and you can honestly play. You should find people who would relate to it. They would love it. But I found like that I need to cater to people's taste. That's the only thing. That's the difference between me and other violinist. I don't appease. Sometimes I do, and I'll fuck with it, and not necessarily about. Yeah, and I have it here, and I just want to share it. Basically, it's nice.
Nice, very good. So making a genuine connection with people and bringing your genuine self out is basically your key. Yeah. That's amazing.
Because I feel like a lot of people are forced to like the misconception is that like you study classical music and find your technique and your voice good and you can express yourself through. But there's other like avenues and there's other pathways. Like all you need, you could teach an elephant. That's what my violin teacher is. But the soul is something different, and your essence is like talent basically. It's fully different category that you either have it or I think everyone has it though. I don't think I can say either have it or not. Everyone is talented in their own way.
Yeah.
But how do you make people at the same time? You as a teacher, you're probably encountering this a lot of times. How do you get kids to express themselves freely and learn at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people like a lot of it has to do with improvisation. Being able to read your environment and be able to process it and then give it back through music. So I recommend like for a lot of kids, it's simply go from a street and perform. Street teaches you everything.
Yeah.
Because if you have a stage, you literally have a stage, thousands of people practicing by every day. Will test you. It's not easy. You will have horrors about it. Mm-hmm. In the process, it's like I think street is the best, one of the best schools. And then you need a teacher will tell you not to practice with vibrato and
yeah.
So it's like both parallels. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's true. So real life experience. I did a lot of busking too, and a few years ago. So yeah, there's nothing like just being there in this raw environment and just going for it, just coming up with ideas that will get people's attention. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you do. You get ideas, people are saying right. It's like it's not even about the money. It's just like balloon opportunity, someone's attention. Mm-hmm. They pay attention to you. And what I used to do as a kid, I used to play, literally create melodies for people that would pass by. Mm-hmm. So really busy day, but always, as a performer, it's like you pick a person or a few people throughout your show that you perform for, mm-hmm. and you pass something you pass, and then be like one person. Was the shit I remember, like, and they walk back to like right melody, mm-hmm. and cater to them, and like the context, like the mass, the mind functions like weird organism that if connects one or two people, connect to the majority as well.
That's true. Amazing. Well, I do have another question. When did you discover electric violin?
When I was 14.
Nice. And how has it affected you? What did you do with it then?
Well, back then, this is like mid-90s. So it's like, back then, there was only one electric violin company that was prominent in the business, and it was the Zetas, mm-hmm. Zeta Violins. So I went and like I had to, because I had no like credit or anything, so I asked my parents to get it for me, and I would pay it back. So it had to make it some. So I went and got up a 5-string Zeta. I still have it.
Great.
And then I got myself some pedals, and then that was it. Like it was just like the sound, and I realized that electric violin is its own animal. But back then, like it wasn't like I didn't do much classical on it, because I was mostly just playing like basically style you would perceive like it's kind of like the Doors with the violin. It's a lot of like rock and roll. And stuff. I formed a band, did all this stuff. But I loved it. Like that was my first instrument. The second one was a Yamaha in 2001, 2002. And then I became a Yamaha artist, and then I had 5 or 6 Yamahas.
Nice. I got one too. And it was a spontaneous buy because I desperately needed something. My old electric just got warped, crooked over the season. So I got a Yamaha. It's pretty good. Have you ever tried a Viper? Mark Wood's Viper.
I don't like Mark Wood's stuff. Like, I'm not really big on it.
Oh,
it's just,
that's okay.
It's like to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I see where people like it. I just don't like the tone of it. Because it's like, the problem with electric violins is that, like, my favorite one was a silent violin, the very original Yamaha. It was the best sound. You literally had, like, one little, like, clicky that, like, you had, like, either a bit of reverb or, like, it was amazing. But that was, I honestly, that was the best sound the Yamaha's ever had.
Yeah.
Like, it was the old silent violins. But then I started putting pickups on my acoustic, and I had a Yamaha pickup on one of my acoustics, and I can't go back to using a fully electric instrument.
Oh, I see.
Like, I don't like the tone anymore. I find it too nasally.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of electric violinists playing out there, and I'm just like, they don't pay attention to tone. You need to figure it's a shitty nasally tone, and like, you need to have pedals. Like, you need to have a great EQ. You need to have great reverb. Everything to make it.
You need to be prepared. Yeah.
So like, and then people just plug in, go straight into the mixing board, and they're playing, and it's awful. And then the reason people listen to it is because they don't know any other. Like, but I want electric violinists to pay attention to their tone. Like, I hear, like, because the electric violin, when it started, it was a little bit more like countercultural. It's cool. Now it's cheesy as hell. Like, it's just really like the industry of electric violins has become really cheesy. It's like shiny ball gowns and like wedding receptions. That's what electric violin is known for now. But it wasn't like that. It was a countercultural instrument that was like, if you didn't want to do classical, you switched to electric violin. Like, it was a badass thing to do.
Yeah.
And like, so even like on Instagram, I was subscribed to the hashtag electric violin, and then just get bombarded with all these people doing, like, just pop covers, and it's like, done. I'm done with it. Like, I don't want to hear any more like Ed Sheeran covers.
I know what you mean. I'm also shifting from, that corporate stuff into doing my own. And that's kind of one of the reasons I started this podcast, so that I can connect with original artists like you. Because my biggest passion is to create my own music and release it into the world. But for mine, it involves both acoustic and electric, and I love them both for different reasons, right? So if I'm writing like a soundtrack, there are certain things that I can do in acoustic that would work with it. But if I'm writing like a rock song, there are certain things that I just need a Viper. I need that power.
You're absolutely right. Like, but it's funny because I always found, like, putting a violin through distortion, I didn't like the sound. But now it's like the bit of what you call it, like a cluster. No, like, I'm appreciating it now. Like, it's taken its role.
Yeah.
I just don't think what people are doing with electric violin these days. It's like, I want to be inspired. I want to be challenged.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
to use it to the full potential. what it can do.
Yeah,
Right?
even with there, but that's the thing. People need to make a living, so they cater to like
the
oars.
audiences.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of been like ruining the whole experience for me, because when I started, it was just me and two other people in the world that were doing this, and I was just like, oh, this is great, like this is like, and then it was more housey, it was more like people were doing electronic music, and then like now you go online and it's just like, oh, all right, another this and that Despacito cover, like get the hell out. If I hear that, you know what I mean? It's like, and that's the thing but people are, classical music and generally and everything makes people feel very insecure. They do feel it, because it's like in the classical world, you're either this or really nothing, like, or you know what I mean, like unless you have like.
There's a certain classicism there.
Society, like, and then some people try to fill sorry, fit everything in, but I want people to feel a bit more, how can I say, confident in themselves, because what we have inside is what the world needs to hear.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's the most important thing, like, because it's like, it's a Japanese marketing principle. They always, I don't remember where I learned this as a kid, but it's like, if you have something, there's going to be at least 1,000 people that are going to really be into it.
Yes, that's
true. 1,000 people in this world represents a bigger demographic. And then it's like, so, like, people have to be encouraged. And whenever like, you get these advices of people, like, going to younger performers and going like, well, you should do this. And he's going to tell you, like, don't listen to anyone's advice. Follow your heart. That's just literally, just go crazy. Like the world needs more crazy people.
That's true.
Like, you know what I mean?
Like, I completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's the same thing we talked about with a lot of other of our guests who say you have to find you. You have to not be afraid to show the genuine you and just pursue your real passion, because you're setting yourself up for doing this for the rest of your life. And you have to think bigger picture, who you are, who you want to be in like 10 years from now. And is this your path? Then go for it.
Well, you said something right. Like, if you want longevity in this career, you find your voice first, and then you develop it. Because then, if you do have to do covers, it'll still be your sound that will like transcend whatever the hell you're doing. You know what I mean? It's like, if you want to be in this business, just, I don't know, just because it's a business, then you're a copycat.
Yeah, no.
There's 5 other million people that will do the same thing. Like, it's very, like, to be honest, it's like sometimes I'll hear a track, especially it's happening these days with electronic music, and I'll hear a track and I'll hear some violinist doing a hook on it, and it'll be so different than what I would do usually on a house track or a techno track, and I'm like, it's inspiring to hear, and like, you're going, you know what I mean, like that's what we need. We need more people doing different things that are like
it
that.
catalyzes your process, and you go, oh, I'm gonna try something different now, right? Absolutely, totally agree. So why don't we have a listen to one of your awesome songs, right? And I think the one that we really wanted to hear today was Alexandria. Yes.
Yeah. I did that song on my first album. My friend Morg, we put it together in about 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
And then it did really well on the first album. I had no idea what I was doing. We had no idea what I was doing. And then that song blew up, did really, really well. And then I revisited it on my 2009 album. So it's like almost a decade later. And so it's like Alexandria Revisited. And it's named after the Alexandria Quartet by Lawrence Durrell, which is a really good book. Everyone should read it.
Nice. Okay, so here we go. Enjoy, everybody.
the best. That is Alexandria Revisited.
Yeah, amazing. Love it. I love it how it combines so many things. It's like gypsy, it's rock, it's everything. It's
Absolutely.
spiritual. Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, I'm working on a new album, and it's very difficult to figure out what direction to go into, because like when you're trying to talk to people and you're trying to sell the concept of an album, which is now difficult.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and then I'm realizing it's just literally going to be a pure rock album. It's going to be a lot of, it's going to be like rock anthems, the whole thing. Epic rock anthems. That's it. Like, gypsy and world music there, mostly world. But yeah, that's the plan.
Amazing. I love that too. That's kind of what I'm doing with my album as well. So yeah, it started off as like I wouldn't even know what to name it. It's a cinematic gypsy metal saga.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's exactly what you're saying, that you can't just stay in one space all the time. So our tracks range from the like Ukrainian folk tunes to like warrior themed Game of Thronesy kind of thing. So yeah, and it's been an experience. So at which stages are you with your album now, and when can we expect it to be out?
I'm hoping. Oh man, it's so difficult, like to put it together at this point. Like before, like I had record labels and everything behind me back in the day. So it's like, so it'd be like 2 months and it's done, or even like a month it's done.
Yeah. Wow.
Like I'm just like I take it was because you're a career musician, right? So you're like you have to gig, you have a life, you have everything. So it's like to get to an album and have that type of commitment, we don't have that luxury anymore of spending like months in the studio, like getting drunk and writing music all the time. Like I had that luxury when I was younger, because like I didn't necessarily have a life, so it's like that was it. So now it is a little difficult, to be honest, and it's like so I'm hoping March to have most of it done.
It's gonna be around your birthday.
Exactly, March 2nd. Yay! When's your birthday?
July 16th. I'm surrounded by Pisces. My producer, my mom, my boyfriend, my cellist, everybody's born in March. So there you go.
March is a good time. We should definitely collaborate and do like a little show. I'm planning to do a big show at Drome for my birthday. So it's gonna be on Saturday night. I'm booking it at the moment, and it's a great little venue in Toronto. And I'm possibly gonna have my Sri Lankan band come and join from Sri Lanka.
Wow, I would love to do that. That'd be so awesome.
The guys are insane, and it's just gonna be mostly percussive. I'm very tribal night. Like I'm talking about like more drum and like rhythmic, like yeah, I'm super excited. I'm gonna start working on the program because next year I'm starting everything basically with all new songs.
Yeah.
The only cover that I'm doing right now is Joe Dessen, what's that song called? Si tu n'existais pas. Do you know that one?
Okay, I don't. Maybe I've heard the music. I don't remember the title. Sure.
I think Eastern European. It's our second national anthem.
Oh.
So it's like,
wow.
Yeah, you know this song. You totally know this song.
Okay.
It's like,
Okay.
It's like all the Russian restaurants have it on their
playlist. Okay, they probably do.
You're definitely, we're all suckers for things that we grew up like.
Yeah.
Oh no! So what is it like? Anyways, you know what I Man, okay, I'm really hungover this morning.
No worries. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really cheesy. So but I'm gonna do like a music video in Montreal. Anyways,
yeah, I know that one for sure. Awesome, I love it. So,
So it's
what I also think, it's like you said about covers. Like, yeah, you could do covers, but if you do a really interesting cover where you pour yourself into it, it changes it completely. Like right now, most of my students are into Billie Eilish, of course, and I've heard so many covers. Doing research for what they should play. And there's this band, Hello Scene, and they did such an awesome like metal cover of it. I just love it. It sounds like nothing like the original.
Yeah, I should like. Oh man, do you remember what was that metal band? Apocalyptica.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, my cellist is all into that. That's kind of what we're doing on my tracks. Like he's playing riffs from that style.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
That's the song. There we go.
Nice.
And my brain's like coming back. Oh, I'm gonna have like today. What is it today? Saturday. Today's gonna be a good practicing day. I'm gonna practice for most of the day and then go play an event tonight.
Oh, great! You're also doing an event on Monday at Glen Gould Studio. Is that right?
Yeah. So this is a tradition. Like my family, one of our main causes in the 80s was HIV and AIDS, like awareness, and we did that back in Russia. Like we kind of focused on that. So and it's World AIDS Day on Monday.
Yeah.
So this is I think I thought it was 11th, but it's the 12th time I'm playing this event.
Wow.
So doing it every year, and it's a bit like it's funny it's really nice to see how much the world has changed. Before there was a lot of stigma behind it. It was like it was a lot darker. The tones were a lot darker. Now it's about celebration because with the medication and with everything, like it's no longer. You know what I mean? It's people can live with HIV and AIDS, so they can function. It's like it's no longer like as hardcore as it was, and so the events become a little bit more honest, like has gone towards more of a celebratory direction. So it's really nice, and that venue is wonderful. I always feel like I want to go louder in that place. And they're like,
nice. That's amazing. So come guys and see it. What time is it going to be? 7 something?
7:30.
7:30. Yeah.
Start time. I'll play a couple of tracks. There a lot of opera singers this year. A lot of.
And you're playing an original song. You're premiering it.
Yeah. Which I was just like, yeah. So that's basically this weekend.
Nice.
I have to practice it and figure it out. Perfect.
Awesome.
And on the 12th, I'm having my annual Christmas show, holiday show at Hughes Room, which is this wonderful venue down Des Western Bloor.
Nice.
And then I think like it's not sold out yet, but it will be. Like, and it's like it's a family thing. Like a lot of people come, their kids. It's so funny when I was starting in this business, like it was a little bit more punk rockish, and it was all about like hardcore. And now like I enjoy doing family events. I'm enjoying seeing like children in the audience. It's like things change. Like if you want to. If you want to encompass more people rather than alienate them. I think one of the first time we played Beaches Jazz Fest with my whole band, I couldn't play like one note in tune because I was just like but it was punk rock.
Yeah.
It was ridiculously punk rock, and 2 people got trampled in the audience. It was a riot, and then it also it showed. Like it kind of the Stravinsky with right. This is Ryder Springer when the whole riot happened.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of want to bring back. Like, how do we make music that is so progressive without necessarily words, without telling people how to? And then I was able to do it as like in my early 20s. We're never able to do that ever again because now I'm cerebral and I'm like. practicing and working on stuff. Back then I didn't practice. I couldn't play like a C major scale into it, but it didn't matter. The energy was right. You know what I mean? It's like, and then so, yeah, it's so funny. I love, like, now I'm just like, I'm totally into classical music these days, back in the day.
Nice.
As of that day. Yeah, it's nice. There's so much good stuff out there. I think it's a good time, like, you probably feel the same thing. It's a good time to just, like, take your time and indulge in what his culture has created, rather than have to contrive, and, like, so much stuff has already been done. Everybody's trying to produce something awesome and new and progressive. It's like, it's there. Just enjoy it.
It's there. Yeah, that's true.
And it's like, and it's a universal thing. Like, I was just in Italy and I was talking to a bunch of, like, disenchanted youth at the place, and they're like, nothing new's happening, like, and you're bored, and I'm just like, you guys are in Italy, like, you have all these filmmakers have created amazing films before, you have all these composers, like, why don't we just shut up and listen for a little bit?
Yeah, that's true, that's true. There's everything's there already, and it's funny that you mentioned Bach, because even with all of my contemporary and rock and metal stuff, I find it that Bach is the one practice I go back to every time. I always have to have some Bach solo in the works to feel complete. Yeah.
It's a lot of partitas, like, you love your partitas probably, like, just like, yeah. There are, it is the violin Bible though. The sonatas and partitas, like, is, you know what I mean? And it's like, and then there's copies that you can get. The copy I remember I bought as a kid was one that had no markings in it. Mm-hmm. So like the teachers had to go through and like and put all the markings of themselves, and then they get mad. But I kind of liked it because it's like it was open to interpretation.
Yes, you could do your own. Yeah.
Absolutely. This was it the second. Oh man, partita. I have so much, like, I've nailed and lost a lot of auditions because of butchering Bach.
Oh, I see.
I'm gonna do like an album in the future, which is gonna be like myself with a cleaver and like one of those like big metal what you call it, like meat axes kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, it's gonna be me like with all these instruments and me destroying instruments, and it's gonna be Dr. Draw butchering the classics.
That's perfect. I want to see that. Awesome. Let's butcher some classics together.
Let's butcher.
Nice. Okay, so as we move a little closer to our conclusion, what would you say was the biggest challenge so far? You had such a long, diverse career. So what would be your biggest challenge on your path? And like, it could be more recent. It could be like to start. Like, what would you share with us? Yeah, as the biggest challenge.
Oh man, that's it. I think the challenge is every day is a challenge. Like, because I feel like us as string musicians and the people like we're very closer to athletes.
Yes.
That, you know what I mean? Like, it's a very honest career that like what you put in is what you get back.
Yeah.
The challenge was to remain myself with all the outside pressures that were pushing you to go into very commercial areas, and like I am commercial. I am a bit of a cheesy performer, but that's what I do. Mm-hmm. But like it's been tough because it's like marketing wise, like people are like, you should do this, you should do that. But like it's a blessing to be almost 40 years old and be relevant and having the best career ever. Like, things are absolutely beautiful and are great, but it is challenging sometimes because the world, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The world has changed since I started. It's changed maybe like 5 or 6 times. You know what I mean? And it was like, you should do this and that, and you're like, well, wait 1 year, everything you're telling me about is going to be irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And then sticking to my guns has been really, really hard, and also maintaining. I call this life a bit of a black hole because everything you do serves that.
Yeah. Like, you make some money, it goes into the next project. I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm in exactly the same spot. Yeah. So, where did you find the motivation to keep maintaining this direction and to keep pushing yourself?
I just don't know anything else. Like I don't. it's like either this. Like I tried to be a business person to start up like stuff up on the side. This life, this violin life sucks up every aspect of my energy. Like this is all I can do. You know what I mean? Like yeah, it's nice. It's like, but at least we have this going for ourselves. You know what I mean? It's just like it's a bit of like it's encouraging for a lot of people. I think the most important thing is to inspire. Mm-hmm. Like if there's a lot of kids out there who feel a little lost or a little depressed in what they're doing, and like their families want them to do other things, not play music. Mm-hmm. That's why we exist. Like you teach. That's how you encourage the kids. You teach themselves expression. Like I want a new generation of people who would inspire me, to be honest, too. Like that would be the most amazing thing, and not just do covers. I want original stuff. I want kids who are like really young, because they're still fresh and they're not influenced with all these other aspects of it, and they're not pleasing anybody creatively. I just want them to like create crazy stuff, and I'll be like, wow, that's amazing. That's what I want to happen. Yeah.
That's true, absolutely. I'm so lucky actually I have a student like that. They form bands and they start jamming, they start improvising, and they write their own songs, and it's like, oh, it doesn't sound so good. I'm like, that's okay, just keep going, you'll find it, right? You're still one step ahead of the person who didn't even try.
You're absolutely right. Like, oh my God, like my first band, we literally like, I think we almost got kicked out of school. Well, it's just like, it's nice, like, you can get away with so much stuff as a kid. So much stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the time to experiment. Absolutely. And then you can get weird, you can get crazy. And because you're a child, like, people are forced to like it. They're like, ooh, this is amazing. Even if it's, like, in your mind, crap. Like, I did a goth band when I was, like, 15, 16.
Oh, wow.
Lots of eyeliner. And then went hip. That was good old times. Oh man, this has been such a pleasure. I really enjoyed today.
Thank you. Well, we're not done yet. What I really want to do now is play a little game. So I have prepared 10 very quick questions for you. And under a minute, we have to answer all 10. So this is usually difficult because, you know, we start thinking so much and criticizing ourselves right away. So this kind of experience is aimed at, you know, just give us the first answer that comes to your mind, because that's how it will be the most genuine, right? Okay, so you ready to do this? Okay, so I'm gonna start a countdown. You won't hear the countdown, but you will hear my questions. Okay, so here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the most memorable performance you did so far?
Probably the okay. Let me think. A 2002 Black and Blue.
All right. At what age did you pick up the violin?
10 years old.
Nice. How many instruments do you own now?
9 or 10.
Okay. Violin, acoustic or electric?
Acoustic with a pickup.
All right. What motivates you most?
What motivates the most? Love.
Yay! Which YouTuber you just can't stop watching?
Well, now that I've discarded you, I'll probably watch your YouTube.
Oh, thank you. Well, what's your favorite song to cover and why?
It would probably be like the cover that I've been playing since early 2000s, and it would probably be "I Feel Love" by Donna Summers.
All right, we ran out of time, but we don't see the reason not to finish. So, name 3 people that you admire.
Okay, it would be artistically David Bowie, Bowie, Kurt Cobain, and probably Bach.
Nice. Okay, dogs or cats?
Both.
Okay, me too. Love it. Thank you for playing. So we didn't make it in time, but that's okay because some of the questions took a while. And if you guys want to see Eugene's cat, He was on the video. Go check out our live YouTube during the song. It's so cute. What's his name?
It's a she. Her name is
It's a she.
Persephone.
Her name's what?
Persephone.
Aww.
And it's actually my girlfriend's cat.
Aww. That's so sweet. So she was dancing to Alexandria.
Yeah, there she is.
Oh, one thing I forgot to ask you. Name 3 violinists or fiddlers that you follow on Instagram.
Oh man. I don't even know. Like, I don't try not to follow a lot of violinists.
Mm-hmm.
But oh man. Okay. I Hillary Hunt.
Yes. Nice.
And I watch her technique suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
And some Ember. No, it was Esther Abrami.
Oh yeah, know her too. Great.
So I follow the classical people because they're I love watching their techniques. I like watching what they're doing.
Yes.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean? It's a different world for me, so I appreciate it.
You know what? These are the same, very similar answers I got from a lot of other violinists I interviewed, like Ariela Zeitlan. Bridget said the same thing. She tries not to follow too many violinists, but obviously those guys are great. So everybody watches them. All right. Thank you so much for coming to the show, Eugene. Such a pleasure to have you. It's like meeting one of my role models. And the funny thing is, people often tell me, "Oh, you look like a female Dr. Draw." I'm like, "Thanks." So we have to team up and do a double draw. Absolutely. So you guys, if you want to find Eugene and follow his album production, go to his website at drdraw.ca, go to Facebook at /DrDraw, on Instagram /DrDraw, and on YouTube, look up the songs that we played today. We played Alexandria, and I'd like to close with one of the songs with your band. So I don't quite know the title. Pour Toi, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So it's called For You, technically.
Yeah. My laptop is done. I'll go grab a charger super quick.
Okay, no worries. Go check out his performances, guys. So on Monday, there's one at Glen Gould at 7:30. On the 12th, there's the annual Christmas concert. So don't miss anything. Follow Eugene on Instagram. Check out his stories. I'll be posting a lot from today's show, too. And meanwhile, I also have a CD coming out next week, so I can't wait to share that with you guys. So keep following. It's kind of holiday themed, but not really. It's more of a warrior themed cinematic. All right. Okay. So thank you so much for coming today, for joining us. Why don't we have you back sometime when you're closer to your CD completion, or you have a new song produced, or you have an event that you'd like us to attend? So come back to the show, and hopefully we'll have you in person here so we can jam.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. All right, thank you so much. Have an amazing day. I'll be sending you all of the files soon, and you'll be seeing me post in iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and Castbox FM. So guys, go ahead, find Musician Today, Vera Bermenko there, follow us, subscribe to the podcast, give us a little rating so that we can move up and more people can see us. So yay, amazing. Thank you. Have a great day. Can't wait to hear your new tracks. Have an awesome concert series too this weekend. Yeah. Okay, bye.
See you. Take care, love. Awesome.